My beloved child. Something subtle yet powerful has already begun shifting around you, even if your logical mind has not fully noticed it yet. There is a quiet rearrangement happening in the background of your love life, like invisible hands moving pieces on a board you did not even know existed. This is not chaos. This is precision. The reason your heart has felt restless lately, the reason old memories surfaced without warning, the reason you suddenly question patterns you once accepted, is because a door is preparing to open. And this door does not open loudly. It opens slowly, deliberately, making sure you are emotionally ready before you even realize what you are being prepared for. What makes this moment different from all the others is timing. Not your timing, but divine timing. Something has aligned that could not align before. Someone has reached a point they could not reach earlier. And you have grown in ways you did not fully appreciate yet. That is why this moment feels charged, heavy, and meaningful all at once. Nothing here is accidental. Nothing here is random. And once you understand what is unfolding, you will realize your love life is about to become far more interesting than it has ever been before. Listen carefully now. The shift you are entering is not about sudden romance or dramatic confessions. It is about power changing hands without a single word being spoken. For a long time, you carried emotional weight that was never meant to be yours alone. You gave understanding where clarity was missing. You offered patience where effort was absent. And quietly, without applause, you stepped back when you realized your energy was being taken for granted. That decision, whether conscious or instinctive, sent a signal far beyond what you imagined. Someone noticed your absence more than they ever noticed your presence. Someone felt the emotional vacuum you left behind, and it unsettled them in ways they did not expect. This is where things begin to turn interesting. Because when someone realizes they no longer have access to your emotional world, curiosity transforms into reflection. Reflection transforms into regret. And regret transforms into action. But this time, the action does not come from confidence. It comes from fear of loss. And fear is a far more honest motivator than comfort ever was. There is a person connected to your love life who has been replaying moments in their mind lately. Conversations they once brushed off now echo differently. Your silence carries more weight than your words ever did. They are questioning themselves, not in a dramatic way, but in quiet, uncomfortable moments when distractions fade. This is important. Because real emotional shifts do not happen in crowds or noise. They happen in solitude. And in that solitude, they are realizing something unsettling. You changed. Not outwardly. Not loudly. But internally. You stopped chasing clarity. You stopped over-explaining your worth. You stopped proving what should have been obvious. That internal shift altered the emotional dynamic completely. Now they are the ones searching for meaning. Now they are the ones wondering what you are thinking. Now they are the ones unsure of where they stand. And this reversal is not temporary. It is the foundation of what comes next. Understand this deeply. Your love life becoming interesting does not mean chaos or confusion. It means truth is about to surface in unexpected ways. Someone is being pushed to confront feelings they avoided because it was easier to assume you would always be there. They underestimated the strength of your self-respect. They misjudged your ability to walk away quietly. And now, they are realizing that access to you was a privilege, not a guarantee. This realization changes how they see you. You are no longer familiar territory. You are mystery again. And mystery awakens desire, respect, and urgency all at once. But here is the twist you did not anticipate. While they are waking up emotionally, you are no longer waiting. You are observing. You are grounded. You are no longer moved by breadcrumbs or half-efforts. That balance shift is why the upcoming chapter feels different. Because whatever happens next will not be one-sided. It will be intentional or it will not happen at all. Stay with me now. Because the most surprising part has not even been revealed yet. The universe has a way of testing alignment before delivering outcomes. Small signs will appear. A message that feels overdue. A memory resurfacing through an unexpected channel. A sudden urge from someone to check on you without knowing why. These are not coincidences. These are emotional tremors before a larger movement. But you are not meant to chase these signs. You are meant to remain steady. Your calm is the catalyst. Your silence is the mirror. Your self-worth is the boundary that defines what happens next. And when the moment arrives, it will not feel dramatic. It will feel clear. That clarity is what will shock you. Because instead of wondering where you stand, you will know. Instead of hoping for effort, you will see it. Instead of questioning intentions, you will feel certainty. And that is when you will understand. Your love life is not just getting interesting. It is finally aligning with the version of you who knows their value. There is a moment, very close now, when everything that felt confusing suddenly arranges itself into a single clear picture. This is the phase where the universe stops whispering and starts applying pressure. Not on you, but on the situation around you. You may notice a strange calm inside yourself, even as emotional movement increases externally. That calm is not detachment. It is readiness. You are no longer reacting from wounds. You are responding from awareness. And that is exactly why events will unfold differently this time. Someone connected to your love life is reaching an emotional crossroads. They can no longer pretend indifference. They can no longer delay honesty. Something inside them knows that if they do not step forward now, they may lose you permanently. This realization is heavy. It disrupts sleep. It interrupts routine. It forces self-questioning. And when someone reaches this internal point, their actions begin to change in ways they cannot fully control. Pay attention to how energy shifts before words ever do. You might feel their presence more strongly, even without direct contact. You might sense curiosity, hesitation, and urgency all at once. This is because they are internally rehearsing conversations they never had the courage to start before. They are weighing risks that once felt unnecessary. What changed is not you becoming louder. What changed is you becoming unavailable to emotional confusion. Your boundaries are no longer spoken. They are felt. And that is powerful. This person is realizing that access to you now requires sincerity. Not charm. Not excuses. Not timing games. And this realization is unsettling because it demands growth. It demands vulnerability. It demands accountability. Many people only awaken emotionally when comfort is removed. Your emotional distance did not punish them. It revealed the truth to them. Now understand something crucial. The next interaction, whether direct or indirect, will not be casual. Even if it appears small on the surface, it will carry emotional weight. A message may seem simple, but the intention behind it will be heavy. A gesture may look ordinary, but the courage required to make it will be significant. This is because they are no longer acting from certainty of outcome. They are acting from hope. Hope that you are still open. Hope that they have not missed their moment. Hope that the door is not fully closed. And here is where the balance truly shifts. You are not obligated to respond from the past version of yourself. You are not required to rush, explain, or reassure. Your response, or your silence, will be guided by clarity rather than fear. And that alone changes the entire dynamic of your love life. This is where things become unexpectedly interesting. You may realize that you are no longer chasing a feeling. You are evaluating alignment. You are no longer imagining potential. You are observing effort. You are no longer romanticizing uncertainty. You are choosing emotional safety. And this internal shift makes you magnetic without trying. It makes people step up or step away, naturally. The person in question is sensing this. They feel that they cannot approach you the same way they once did. They must come differently. More honest. More grounded. More real. That is the pressure they are under right now. And whether they rise to it or retreat from it will define the next chapter. But either outcome benefits you. Because you will no longer be stuck in emotional limbo. Stay present in this moment. Do not rush to conclusions. Do not anticipate outcomes with anxiety or fantasy. Let things reveal themselves. Because very soon, you will receive confirmation. Not through promises, but through consistency. Not through words, but through behavior. Not through intensity, but through intention. And when that happens, you will feel something you have not felt in a long time. Emotional steadiness. Not excitement mixed with fear. Not hope mixed with doubt. Just calm knowing. That is how you will recognize that your love life has entered a new phase. One where you are no longer waiting to be chosen. One where you are choosing from a place of self-respect. And once you step into that position fully, nothing about your love life will ever feel boring again. My beloved child. There is a quiet test approaching, and it will arrive disguised as something ordinary. It will not announce itself. It will not demand immediate reaction. It will simply present you with a choice that reveals how far you have truly come. This is where most people slip back into old patterns without realizing it. But you are not most people anymore. You have already learned what it feels like to give without receiving, to wait without clarity, to hope without assurance. That chapter shaped you. It did not break you. And now, the universe is watching to see whether you still negotiate your worth in silence, or whether you stand firmly in it without explanation. This moment matters because it determines the quality of love that follows. Not just who comes toward you, but how they are allowed to stay. What makes this phase intense is that attraction and truth are no longer separate. In the past, you may have felt chemistry without safety, excitement without stability, connection without consistency. That imbalance is no longer sustainable for you. Someone is sensing this change and it unsettles them. They realize that your interest can no longer be won through familiarity or emotional shortcuts. You are not impressed by words that are not supported by action. You are not moved by promises that arrive without effort. This awareness shifts how they approach you internally, even before they approach you outwardly. They are measuring themselves against the standard you now represent. And that standard is not perfection. It is presence. It is effort. It is emotional availability. This realization creates pressure, but also opportunity. Because for the first time, they understand that loving you requires growth. There is something deeply magnetic about a person who no longer seeks validation. Your energy now communicates boundaries without confrontation. Your calm communicates confidence without arrogance. And this creates a paradox. Those who once felt secure in your affection now feel uncertain. Those who once took you for granted now feel drawn back. This is not because you changed who you are. It is because you stopped abandoning yourself to keep connections alive. And this is where the story becomes truly interesting. Because the universe does not reward sacrifice that erases self-respect. It rewards alignment. It rewards self-honoring choices. And right now, you are standing at the center of that alignment, even if you do not fully see it yet. Soon, a situation will reveal whether someone is capable of meeting you where you are. This will not be a dramatic confrontation. It will be subtle. A delay that tests patience. A response that reveals intention. A decision that shows priority. These small moments are where truth hides. And you will notice something different in yourself. You will not feel anxious waiting. You will not overanalyze silence. You will not chase clarity. Instead, you will observe. And in that observation, you will gain power. Because when you no longer fear losing someone, you gain the ability to choose what truly serves you. This is the shift that transforms your love life. Not by adding more people, but by filtering out what no longer aligns. Remember this. Love that is meant for you does not require you to shrink, explain, or compete. It does not arrive with confusion as its foundation. It arrives with intention. And intention is becoming very important now. Someone is being forced to decide whether they are willing to show up fully or step aside. And you are being invited to trust that you do not lose anything by choosing yourself. You only lose illusions. As this unfolds, you will feel stronger, clearer, and more grounded than before. That is how you will know you are ready for what comes next. Because the most interesting love stories do not begin with chasing. They begin with self-respect meeting effort at the same time. My beloved child. What unfolds next is not about waiting anymore. It is about recognition. Recognition of patterns that once felt normal but now feel misaligned. Recognition of your own emotional maturity. Recognition that love is no longer something you must convince into existence. This phase arrives quietly, but its impact is lasting. You may notice that you are no longer drawn to inconsistency, even if it once excited you. You are no longer tempted by emotional highs that come with emotional lows. Your nervous system has learned what peace feels like, and it does not want to return to chaos disguised as passion. This internal clarity is not accidental. It is the result of lessons integrated, not just learned. And because of this, your love life is shifting from reaction to intention. Someone around you is beginning to sense that time is no longer unlimited. They feel that the window they once assumed would remain open is slowly closing. Not because you are shutting them out, but because you are no longer standing still. Your growth has momentum now. And growth does not pause for hesitation. This creates urgency on their side, but calm on yours. That contrast is powerful. It reveals who is acting from fear and who is acting from readiness. And here is the surprising part. You will not feel flattered by sudden interest if it lacks depth. You will not feel validated by attention if it lacks effort. Your heart is no longer hungry for crumbs. It is selective. And that selectiveness is not cold. It is wise. As this awareness deepens, you may find yourself emotionally stepping back even as possibilities step forward. This is not withdrawal. This is discernment. You are finally able to see connections for what they are, not what you hoped they would become. And that vision is changing how you engage. You are no longer investing energy blindly. You are allowing people to reveal themselves through consistency. This shift is subtle, but it changes everything. Because the right connection will not be intimidated by your clarity. It will be drawn to it. The right person will not rush you or pressure you. They will meet your pace naturally. And when that happens, it will feel steady, not overwhelming. Understand this deeply. The most meaningful changes in love often happen when you stop trying to control outcomes. You are entering a phase where trust replaces anxiety. Where presence replaces anticipation. Where self-worth replaces longing. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you start caring differently. You care about alignment more than attention. You care about effort more than words. You care about how someone shows up when it matters, not how they speak when it is convenient. And this internal recalibration is what makes your love life interesting in a way that lasts. Very soon, you will notice that situations resolve themselves without force. People either step forward clearly or fade without confusion. And you will not feel loss in either outcome. You will feel clarity. That clarity is the reward. Because love that is meant to stay does not need to be chased, questioned, or rescued. It arrives with respect. And you are finally standing in a place where respect is non-negotiable. This is the moment where everything changes quietly, but permanently. My beloved child. What comes next is not louder, but it is deeper. This is the stage where emotional truth begins to surface without being forced. You may notice that conversations feel different now. Words land heavier. Silences speak clearer. You are no longer confused by mixed signals because you no longer entertain them. Your intuition has sharpened, not through suspicion, but through experience. And this is important. Because when intuition is calm, it becomes accurate. You are sensing who is emotionally available and who is simply emotionally curious. That distinction changes everything. It protects your energy. It refines your choices. And it positions you for a love that feels secure rather than uncertain. There is someone who will attempt to reconnect with a different tone than before. Less casual. Less confident. More careful. They will feel the shift in you, even if they cannot name it. They will realize that access to your heart now requires presence, not persuasion. This realization creates vulnerability on their side. And vulnerability reveals character. Watch closely. Not with judgment, but with awareness. Because what people do when they feel they might lose you tells you far more than what they say when they believe they already have you. You are no longer impressed by urgency alone. You are looking for consistency. And consistency cannot be faked for long. At this stage, your emotional strength becomes undeniable. You are no longer afraid of endings because you understand that clarity is kinder than confusion. You are no longer clinging to potential because you value reality. This does not make you distant. It makes you grounded. And grounded energy attracts grounded connections. The universe responds to this shift quickly. Situations that lingered without resolution begin to move. Questions that stayed unanswered suddenly find direction. And you will feel relief more than excitement. Relief that you are no longer emotionally guessing. Relief that you can trust what you feel. Relief that love no longer feels like a test you must pass. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization. Love is not meant to be dramatic to be meaningful. It is meant to be steady to be real. You are finally prepared to receive something that does not require you to abandon yourself. Something that does not demand patience at the cost of peace. Something that does not ask you to shrink to be chosen. This readiness is rare. Many people reach it too late or never at all. But you are here now. And because you are here, what enters your life next will meet you at your level, not pull you back to your past. Stay open, but stay grounded. Do not rush what is unfolding. Let actions reveal intentions. Let time confirm truth. You are no longer chasing an interesting love story. You are living one that is aligned, intentional, and emotionally honest. And as this chapter continues, you will realize something powerful. The most interesting part of your love life is not who comes toward you. It is who you have become. My beloved child. Now you enter the phase where outcomes stop being imagined and start being revealed. This is where patience pays its quiet reward. You may notice that your emotional reactions have slowed, but your understanding has deepened. You no longer rush to label connections or predict endings. You allow people to show you who they are over time. And time is the great revealer. Someone who once hesitated is being pushed to make a clear choice. Someone who once stayed comfortable in ambiguity is realizing that ambiguity no longer has access to you. This shift is not dramatic on the surface, but it is decisive underneath. And once a decision is made, energy follows quickly. What is surprising now is how little effort it takes from you. You are not strategizing. You are not trying to be mysterious. You are simply being consistent with your own standards. That consistency creates a mirror others cannot ignore. They either rise to meet it or quietly step away. And for the first time, neither outcome feels threatening. You understand that what leaves was never aligned, and what stays must earn its place through effort and presence. This emotional neutrality is not indifference. It is strength. It allows you to remain open without being vulnerable to confusion. And that balance is rare. There is a realization forming within someone connected to your heart. They are beginning to understand that love with you cannot be rushed or assumed. It must be built. This awareness changes their behavior subtly but unmistakably. You may notice increased intentionality. More thought behind words. More follow-through behind promises. Or you may notice silence that signals withdrawal. Both are answers. And you will accept them without resistance. Because you are no longer negotiating your worth through hope. You are honoring it through boundaries. This is the moment where your love life stops feeling like a question and starts feeling like a direction. You are no longer asking what will happen. You are watching what is happening. And that shift brings confidence without arrogance, peace without distance. You trust yourself now. You trust your timing. You trust that what is meant to meet you will do so without confusion. And that trust changes how love arrives in your life. As this chapter continues, remember this truth. Love that is aligned does not need constant reassurance. It feels calm, not chaotic. It grows through mutual effort, not silent endurance. You are finally standing in a place where love meets you as an equal, not a test. And from here onward, every step you take is guided not by fear of loss, but by respect for yourself. That is what makes everything ahead not just interesting, but meaningful.